Hey everyone, today I have in front of me the Lego Star Wars 2026 May the 4th gift with purchase, the Darksaber. As of recording this, the event has already finished, and this was gifted to orders of $160 or more. This is set number 40917. It has 278 pieces. It is classified as an 18 plus set, and this is actually the fourth lightsaber hilt that Lego has released as a gift with purchase. The Darksaber being the hilt they went with makes sense with the Mando movie releasing later in May. On the back of the box is another look at the Darksaber as well as the dimensions, and in the bottom right corner is a picture from Mando Season 3 of the Mandalorian holding the Darksaber. Just looking at the design of the saber, this does look good, so I'm very excited to get building. Like I said earlier, this is the fourth lightsaber that Lego has made for a gift with purchase, and honestly, I would love to see this become a collection. I can see why people wouldn't. We do have a good amount already, like the Starship Collection, the helmets. I do really like these lightsaber hilts, and I think each one that Lego has released has been good. Inside the box is, of course, the instruction manual, as well as two plates just flowing freely, and then a total of 4 numbered bags. Every 18 plus set, there's always a page or two at the beginning of the instruction manual that just has some information about the build that you have. There's a nice picture of the Mando versus Moff Gideon, so feel free to pause, and it does have it in multiple languages as well. But I always like when instruction manuals do this because it just adds a little bit more than just the instructions. Here is the Darksaber all build. I really do like the final design and how it rests on top of the stand, which we'll take a closer look at later. The building process was solid. You build the bottom section and then build the top part and then just connect the two. Starting off here with the top section, I really like the parts usage on each side. For the grill looking section, it uses the wand box piece from Harry Potter, though it doesn't have the most accurate look because those are white on the actual Darksaber. Then the design does get that small part that goes around the top section connecting to a bottom portion, which is connected with clear pieces to make it look like it is not connected to the top portion. I think the build does get that design part of the Darksaber down, and it's connected by one stud on each side, so it does allow a little bit of movement so you can kind of line it up with that bottom portion. But I think the overall shaping of this top section was done very well, and it definitely looks good. And you know, this isn't your average looking lightsaber at the end of the day. In the middle is the opening where the actual saber blade comes out. It's represented here with a 1x4 translucent purple piece. The blade is black and white, and I don't know if we've ever seen the actual kyber crystal, if it's a black crystal, but I think purple is a solid representation of the blade and just a little easier to see. Inside of the saber, the kyber crystal is also represented using more of those purple pieces, and once the saber is done, it's not accessible at all. You basically have to break parts off, but I really do like that it is here. It's a cool detail. The top part is not the most sturdy, but it's not bad at all. The section held by 2 studs is definitely the worst part. That could break, but the top section just has a little bit of movement, but when you're swooshing this thing around, it is not going to break apart. Speaking of swooshing this thing around, immediately when I finished building it, that was like what I started doing. It was just very cool to have, a Lego hilt in my hand and just acting like the blade is there and battling. Now for the bottom section with the stripe look, it's an alternating between dark bluish gray and black all the way down on the top and sides. Vertical stripes are represented here with an accurate look, but the horizontal lines at the front only has one, whereas there's multiple on the actual hilt, but I think the design was hard to get here. One line there is in the design. And finally, there's just a small section sticking out at the bottom, which is accurate to the hilt. Really do like the look of the Darksaber. I think Lego did a very good job with the actual design and just getting the shaping as well. Very good compared to the actual model of the Darksaber. And like I said, just swooshing this thing around is just so cool. And the size is good as well. I think it's about the size of the actual hilt. I'm glad that, Lego didn't really shrink it or anything. It doesn't feel small in your hand. It feels like how a lightsaber would. I do have a Disney Luke's lightsaber that came out a while ago, but here's just like a look at the size comparison. So you can see that the Darksaber is pretty much there. And finally, the stand that the Darksaber rests upon, there is a printed plaque in the front, and it's a pretty simple design overall. It has 2 small divots of 1x2, and that's where you place the Darksaber. Just fits there nicely, so you definitely have to be careful when carrying both, as there's no actual stud connection, but there's a little bit of movement that you can slide it left and right depending on how you want to display it. But I think the stand does look good at really showcasing the Darksaber. Overall, I really like this set, and I think it makes for a good gift with purchase. Now, is it worth that $160 price tag essentially that you have to spend to have gotten it? I think so, and I say that because the previous sabers were all linked to a UCS set. As you know, UCS sets are not cheap by any means. The last one was Luke's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi, and it was tied to the Jabba sail barge, which was $400. So with this one, spending $160, you can get whatever sets you want, and then you get a nice nice Darksaber to go with it. So I do think that it was worth it, that price threshold to get this set. I'm a fan of these lightsaber hilts that Lego has released so far, and like I said at the beginning of the video, I do hope that these become a collection eventually. I can understand why some people wouldn't want that, and I do wish that these did come with the blades. I do like the hilts and being able to display it on your shelf. I do want to get the other ones, especially Luke's from Return of the Jedi. That one is probably the best hilt that Lego has made, a very good design, but this one is definitely a great addition. Despite a couple of inaccuracies, I think the design gets the overall look of the Darksaber as well as the shaping. This was one I definitely did not want to miss out on. I think Lego has done a very great job with the recent gift with purchases for May the 4th, so I'm hoping that they keep that up, and honestly I'd love to see minifigures make a return. I want to see more sets. But overall, I think this is a good design for the Darksaber. It makes for a good GWP. It does look good on display, and I really like this set, so definitely let me know in the comments what you think about the Darksaber, what other GWPs you'd like to see for May the 4th. Make sure to lightsaber slash that like button and hit subscribe with the bell on so you know when I upload. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace.